The teacher angrily beats the students until the stick breaks, simply because their pronunciation is not standard enough. The other students can't help but laugh quietly, as the three being punished are notorious bullies in the class. Sure enough, as soon as the bell rings, the bullies give the boys who laughed a good lesson. At that moment, the protagonist, Jang Byung-tae, walks towards them. Everyone thinks he's here to protect the weak, but he's actually just there to pee. But the bullies don't let him off the hook. Even though he didn't laugh out loud, he was clearly fighting hard to hold it in. Then the four boys are forced to line up and take turns getting beaten. Jang Byung-tae collapses in despair, lying on the ground, not knowing when this painful life will ever end. Since childhood, he has always been the target of bullying. He gets beaten for making others unhappy, for walking with his eyes wide open, even for just breathing. Over time, his personality becomes weaker and more timid, and eventually he earns the nickname Bumtae, meaning foolish. Until one day, his dad is reported for running an illegal dance hall, and the whole family has to move to another city overnight. But Bumtae is upset, even crying. He complains sadly, "I've been whooped so many times here. I know how each of them picks fights, and I finally figure out their movement patterns. Now I'm gonna have to figure it out all over again." However, this move is about to change his loser life. On the first day at his new school, Bumtae suddenly changes his timid image and walks confidently up to the podium, loudly challenging, "If anyone here thinks you can win against me, put your hand up." To his surprise, only one boy raises his hand, but classmates quickly stop him. This confuses Bumtae, as things are not going according to his plan. It turns out, his dad noticed he was scared of the new school and came up with a brilliant idea. He first asked a neighbor who was a cop to take Bumtae to school, so everyone would think he was some hotshot thug. Then Bumtae would provoke the whole class. According to his dad's guess, about 5 or 6 boys would raise their hands. At that point, he just had to pick the weakest one for a fight. Even if he lost, he would still be 6th or 7th on the food chain, and no one would dare bully him easily. However, in reality, everyone keeps their heads down, unwilling to make eye contact. It turns out they mistake Bumtae for a legendary figure known as White Tiger. It is said that he has single-handedly fought off 17 guys with his bare hands, and he always says, "Nothing tastes better than a bloody cigarette." Coincidentally, White Tiger's real name is Jung Gyung-tae, and his name sounds almost identical to Jang Byung-tae's. Even more coincidentally, both of them are from Asan, and White Tiger is about to transfer to the same agricultural high school as Bumtae. However, right now, he is in a coma due to an accident, and the culprit is none other than Bumtae. The day before the transfer, Bumtae shamelessly bullied little boys at the arcade, winning all their pocket money. The boys couldn't accept losing to such a coward, so they tried to extort him instead. Terrified, Bumtae jumped on his bike and fled. Meanwhile, a group of delinquents approached White Tiger and challenged him. After his handsome face was injured, White Tiger's fighting spirit burned even fiercer. He instantly knocked out all the guys, leaving them all barely conscious on the ground. After the fight, White Tiger, as usual, lit a cigarette. At that moment, Bumtae leisurely rode his bike, approaching. Suddenly, a disinfectant truck sprayed a cloud of white mist, instantly blocking his view. It wasn't until the mist cleared that Bumtae noticed someone ahead. He hurriedly squeezed the brakes, but still crashed into White Tiger. Later, due to severe injuries, White Tiger was transferred to a larger hospital. In this way, Bumtae arrived at the new school first, and his powerful aura stunned the classmates, making them mistakenly believe he was the legendary White Tiger. However, Bumtae is deeply troubled, feeling like he's messed everything up. While he is in the restroom, a group of delinquents approach him, a popular girl from the neighboring girls' high school. During casual conversation, Bumtae unexpectedly learns that they have mistaken him for the legendary White Tiger, Jung Gyung-tae, the very boy he accidentally crashed into earlier. Bumtae freezes on the spot, his jaw nearly dropping to the floor. Turns out, all of today's bizarre experiences are due to this dumb luck. Faced with the awkward situation, Bumtae forces himself to stay calm. The next side dares to make the first move, and they stand off for a full hour. The onlookers grow restless and start playing games to kill time. Suddenly, Sledgehammer lunges like a beast, slamming Bumtae to the ground and choking him hard. In critical condition, Bumtae breaks free, using nothing but his teeth. Just then, Johnny happens to glance back and mistakes them for just chatting. After a brief clash, Sledgehammer is convinced that Bumtae is not the legendary White Tiger. He launches another attack, ready to end it with his finishing move. but by pure accident, Bumtae knocks Sledgehammer out cold. Everyone watching happens to witness the final blow. At this moment, Bumtae picks up the cigarette from the ground and takes a hard drag. This moment perfectly matches White Tiger's famous line, "Nothing tastes better than a bloody cigarette," but nobody notices he chokes on it a second later. Cho-Ho is curious how he managed to defeat Sledgehammer, but even Bumtae himself has no idea. From that day on, no one dares question Bumtae's identity, who is being harassed by a boy. Hong immediately leads everyone over to stop him. In the past, he would never dare get involved, because this guy is one of the top 3 fighters at Technical High, Pliers. He and his gang are always bullying students from Agricultural High. Hong pushes Bumtae forward, telling him to win back the pride of Agricultural High. When Pliers realizes the boy in front of him is White Tiger, he clearly panics, especially since they are outnumbered. Bumtae is nervous too, but he still steps up for Seon-hwa and humiliates Pliers in front of everyone. Fueled by alcohol, he even slaps Pliers. Home, Bumtae and Johnny run into several girls engaged in a heated argument. Johnny instantly recognizes one of them as the famous Black Widow, the best fighter from girls' high school. Bumtae looks closer and is stunned to discover Black Spider is actually Ji-young. Their fathers have been close friends for years, and Bumtae is currently staying at Ji-young's house. Johnny reminds him that Ji-young has been hiding her true identity, and the only people who don't know are her parents. Hearing this, Bumtae quickly comes up with a plan. That night at home, he threatens Ji-young. Either she teaches him how to fight, he'll expose her secret identity as Black Widow to her parents. To protect the good girl image she spent years building, Ji-young has no choice but to agree. Bumtae then brags about his fight with Sledgehammer and asks her to analyze it. After a close combat demonstration, Ji-young unexpectedly feels her heart race, but she quickly regains her composure and coldly points out that the reason he won was because of a powerful elbow strike. Bumtae is overjoyed, saying that was my in. Pliers storms into the school alone, swinging his weapon and fighting his way through, all to find out where Bumtae is. Hong tries to block him, but underestimates Pliers' ferocity, and both Johnny and Sledgehammer end up badly beaten as well. The panicked boys immediately betray Bumtae, revealing he's taking a dump on the mountain. Soon after, Pliers finds Bumtae hiding in the bushes and launches a fierce attack. Bumtae blocks the fatal strike with a shovel, but he's absolutely terrified. Pliers roars, "I can't live without Seon-hwa. We gon' fight to the death today." But Bumtae has zero interest in fighting. He yells back, "Take her. I don't care about girls." Just then, crowd of boys approaches. In the chaos, Pliers stumbles and accidentally grabs a handful of fresh waste. Though disgusted, he quickly grabs the weapon and flees in disgrace. Afterward, the delinquents burn with rage, cursing how lucky Pliers is for not running into Bumtae, or else he'd be half dead by now. Hong feels so ashamed that he even wants to bite his tongue and end his life. Seeing this, Bumtae reluctantly promises to get revenge for them. Hong warns him, Technical High still has 2 other dangerous fighters, Wrench and Triangle. Triangle in particular is bloodthirsty and brutal, the strongest in the area. So the task of dealing with him naturally falls on Bumtae. Under the crushing pressure, Bumtae breaks down. But then, the history teacher's lecture gives him an unexpected idea. The teacher says, if a king starts a war while he's still weak, his strongest underlings will be too busy fighting outsiders to notice his incompetence. Bumtae's eyes light up, and he immediately gathers all the students. After years of being bullied by the Technical High kids, everyone is burning with rage. Led by White Tiger, the group marches toward Technical High, only to find them too scared to even open their doors. With a furious roar from Hong, the battle begins. The Poop forces smash the gates wide open, and everyone storms inside. Fueled by high morale, they crush their enemies, leaving them screaming in agony. Meanwhile, Bumtae cleverly stays in the back, directing the action. Seeing Pliers knocked to the ground, Bumtae rushes over and warns him, if you ever bother Seon-hwa again, I'll kill you. After dealing with Pliers, Bumtae confidently looks for Triangle. But the next moment, Triangle steps out, challenging him to a one-on-one fight. Bumtae feels scared, because this is not part of his plan. Luckily, Sledgehammer charges in with his boys and mocks him, saying, you're not even qualified to fight our White Tiger. Bumtae instantly regains his confidence and warns Triangle, if you ever mess with anyone from our school, you're dead. Right then, Pliers is still shouting, Seon-hwa is mine, and then suddenly collapses into sleep. After this fight, Bumtae wins the respect of all the boys. They crown him as the king of the agricultural high school, even carrying him through the streets in celebration. When the news spreads, Seonhwa is deeply drawn to Bumtae and even asks him out on a date. Bumtae never dreams this day would come. He feels like a child blessed by the gods. But just as his good days begin, the real White Tiger wakes up in the hospital and transfers into Bumtae's class the next day. Their eyes meet for a brief moment, and Bumtae quickly looks away, nervous and scared. Trying to calm himself down, he heads to the restroom only to find White Tiger following him inside, making him scream in fear. Hearing the noise, Sledgehammer thinks the new guy is causing trouble and tries to beat him up. Bumtae steps in just in time, warning them not to bully the new student. White Tiger is about to leave but suddenly comes back, asking for a cigarette. He takes a puff, but clearly doesn't like the taste, so he throws it on the ground. Sledgehammer mistakes this for an insult and rushes at him, only to be thrown to the ground in an instant. Seeing things about to get worse, Bumtae urges White Tiger to hurry back to class. Afterward, Bumtae gets none other than the three punks from Technical High. As their blows rain down, White Tiger's lost memories flood back like a tide. He remembers the moment Bumtae hit him and finally realizes he is the feared White Tiger. Then the hunt begins. His fists, like iron, leave all the punks completely powerless. Meanwhile, Bumtae is still lost in the sweetness of love, completely unaware that danger is closing in. After wiping them all out, White Tiger coldly warns them never to spread a word about today's beating. It's clear he's plotting life. After school, White Tiger shows up with a gift and confesses to Seonhwa and even pesters her to agree to go on a picnic with him. Faced with such a handsome and rich suitor, Seonhwa naturally can't resist. They spend a whole romantic day together, and she slowly falls for him. When they part, they can't help but kiss, and Bumtae happens to see it. He can't believe his best friend and his girlfriend betray him at the same time. Even so, he still doesn't dare do anything to White Tiger and can only watch him walk away. After a sleepless night, Bumtae swears to take revenge. He complains to Hong that the new transfer student keeps getting cheeky with him. Hong instantly gets his attention and promises to make White Tiger kneel and apologize. With that, he finds White Tiger, slaps him hard, and drags him to a secluded spot. But White Tiger just sneers and takes them all down in a flash. Only Sledgehammer and TP are left standing there, grinning foolishly. Meanwhile, Bumtae is giving a passionate campaign speech. The next moment, White Tiger tosses a half-dead Hong right in front of him. He says coldly, "I thought of you as a real friend, but you sent guys to teach me a lesson?" Then he slaps Bumtae again and again until he breaks down in front of everyone. "I'm not White Tiger, you are!" Humiliated, Bumtae runs away, only to be caught and beaten up by the bullies. The real White Tiger, however, basks in glory, even holding a welcome party for himself and forcing Bumtae to pay the bill. But the revenge isn't over. He orders Bumtae to bring Seonhwa out and confess to her face that he's nothing but White Tiger's sidekick. Realizing she's been deceived, Seonhwa gets furious and slaps him hard. Only then does Bumtae realize that what Seonhwa loves is not him, but the feared top dog. For him, this is a fatal blow. Because he keeps getting beaten up, Bumtae grows terrified of going to school again. He starts wandering the streets like a drifter, but the outside world is even more dangerous. The trio from Technical High corners him and gives him another brutal beating. The only one who still treats him as a friend is Cho-ho. In his eyes, when Bumtae was White Tiger, school life was peaceful and the weak no longer suffered from bullying. So Cho-ho truly feels that Bumtae is amazing. Those words deeply encourage Bumtae. He decides to pull himself together and face life bravely that his dad has been arrested. He accidentally overheard Sledgehammer bragging that he's the one who reported Bumtae's dad for running an illegal dance hall. It's obvious this is White Tiger's revenge. Enraged, Bumtae goes to confront Sledgehammer only to be defeated instantly. He falls into deep regret, realizing he can't even protect his own family. His mom takes the blame on herself, crying that it's her uselessness that has dragged him down. Seeing her like this, Bumtae feels his heart shatter, so he resolves to change and begs Ji-young to train him in fighting. He swears he will make those who humiliated him pay. Ji-young tests him on the spot and discovers his reflexes and endurance are not too bad, but his physical condition was so poor that he can't even do 3 sit-ups. So Ji-young designs a special training plan for him. She throws him into a lumber mill, making him carry logs, chop wood, and do the toughest work every single day. To stop him from quitting halfway, Ji-young even thoughtfully takes his month's pay in advance. And just like that, after only a month, Bum-tae is like a new person. His muscles are stronger, and even his eyes no longer show fear. Next comes fight training. Before he can prepare, Ji-young's fist smashes into his face. She says coldly, "Fighting is never a fair game. If you want to win, you strike first." Then she patiently breaks down Bruce Lee's fighting moves and trains Bum-tae day and night. Once Bum-tae masters the techniques, he begins plotting his revenge in secret. One day, he sees a masked boxer on TV whose mysterious identity leaves opponents completely clueless. Bum-tae comes up with a great idea and asks Ji-young to make him a blue dragon mask. Next, he will fight as the Dragon of Justice and defeat the evil tiger with his own hands. The next day, Bum-tae deliberately provokes Johnny, even reaching out to touch his food. Just then, Pliers slowly approaches, and Bum-tae suddenly throws the food in his face, pinning the blame on Johnny. Obviously, Bum-tae's real goal is to spark a war between the two, and his plan works. Johnny uses his unique boxing style to knock Pliers down. Ji-young hides nearby, watching everything closely. It turns out Bum-tae knows full well he can't take on everyone at once. So his plan is to figure out each person's weakness and take them down one by one until he wins the war. Back home, Ji-young studies Johnny and points out that he's fast and agile. To deal with someone like him, just destroy his legs, and he's done for. With the plan ready, Bum-tae trains all night without rest. That evening, Johnny bullies a middle schooler and steals his expensive sneakers. Just as he's basking in his pride, Bum-tae suddenly shows up wearing a mask and threatens him with a note. Johnny doesn't take him seriously and mocks him, saying his mask looks like a toad. Bum-tae throws a quick punch but embarrassingly misjudges the distance. Johnny strikes back immediately, but luckily Bum-tae's endurance is surprisingly strong. He ducks low, fakes with his right hand, and when Johnny freezes for a second, he whips out a sharp kick. Johnny stumbles, losing his balance, while Bum-tae keeps kicking at his leg. Staring at this lunatic, Johnny roars in despair. Finally, Bum-tae spins sharply and breaks his leg. When Bum-tae returns, looking downcast, Ji-young thinks he got whooped again, but she doesn't see any bruises though. Bum-tae explains, even though he broke Johnny's leg, he knows all too well how painful it feels to be beaten. Ji-young instantly bursts with anger, yelling at him to stop pretending to be a good guy. Against someone that evil, the only way is to beat them down hard. Hearing this, Bum-tae regains his fighting spirit. His next target, Sledgehammer, who has trained in wrestling since elementary school. Ji-young warns him, "Sledgehammer's strong all around, and if he grabs your collar, it's over." But luckily, Bum-tae has practiced dance since childhood, so with his flexible body, he might be able to take Sledgehammer head-on. The next day, Sledgehammer hurriedly tells his buddies about Johnny being attacked. At first, no one takes it seriously. They just think Johnny got what he deserved for being too cocky. Later that day, while Sledgehammer is working his part-time job, Bum-tae shows up wearing a mask. Sledgehammer instantly recognizes him as Johnny's attacker and mocks the mask, saying it looks like a lizard. With that, he charges forward only to find that Bum-tae's whole body is covered in oil, making him impossible to grab. This is Ji-young's clever trick. Thinking fast, Sledgehammer smears dust on his hands and slams Bum-tae to the ground. He tries to rip off the mask but fails, quickly noticing a bruise around Bum-tae's left eye. The two wrestle fiercely, and Bum-tae tries to strike back with an elbow, but Sledgehammer dodges swiftly. The next second, he squeezes Bum-tae's waist tight. In that critical moment, Bum-tae remembers Ji-young's secret move and slams forward with a fierce headbutt. The fight drains all his strength, but he finally takes down one day. Bum-tae puts on the blue dragon mask and shows up right in front of Hong. As expected, Hong's legs give out and he falls to his knees, begging for mercy. Bum-tae kicks him away, paying back all the humiliation he once suffered, but in the end, he still gives Hong a chance to redeem himself. Meanwhile, another boy accidentally knocks over White Tiger's belongings. Even though he apologizes right away and offers snacks to make up for it, he still gets beaten up. White Tiger vents all his long-held rage against Blue Dragon on this weak boy. Bum-tae wants to step in but holds back, knowing it's not yet the best time for revenge. Later, he approaches White Tiger and suggests giving him the position of student president. White Tiger is tempted because he desperately wants to prove he's stronger than the mysterious Blue Dragon. What he doesn't know is that this is all part of Bum-tae's trap. After school, everyone holds a celebration party for White Tiger. Led by Hong, the others take turns toasting, while only White Tiger actually drinks. Stuffed and drunk, White Tiger stumbles home, only to be blocked by Blue Dragon. With a cold smile, he says, "I've been waiting for you." In fact, White Tiger isn't drunk at all and takes down Blue Dragon in just a few moves. When he rips off the mask, he's shocked to see it's Hong. Before he can react, another group of Blue Dragons rush in. White Tiger recognizes them as the same ones who poured him drinks earlier, assuming they are all fakes. In truth, the real Blue Dragon is hiding among them. This time, their strategy is to play tricks. They purposely use clumsy fighting moves to mislead White Tiger and lower his guard. In the chaos, Bumtae lands a heavy punch to his stomach. But White Tiger quickly sees through the trick and unleashes his full power, knocking everyone out. At the last moment, Ji-young appears in a mask. With a swift flying kick, she forces White Tiger back. The moment she pulls off her mask, Bumtae finds her incredibly captivating. But in the end, the entire operation ends in total failure. The next day, White Tiger furiously beats up Hong until he finally admits that Blue Dragon is actually Bumtae. He can't believe that this weakling who never dared to fight back has become so powerful. At the same time, Bumtae is preparing for the next battle. Suddenly, Cho-ho rushes in and says Ji-young is in danger. To force Bumtae to show himself, White Tiger not only crushes his buddies, but also breaks Ji-young's arm. Just then, Bumtae walks into the battlefield wearing the Blue Dragon mask. White Tiger sneers and launches a violent attack, leaving Bumtae completely defenseless. Lying on the ground, Bumtae suddenly bursts into laughter, leaving White Tiger completely puzzled. Calmly, Bumtae says, "I've been whooped so much that what you're doing don't hurt a bit." His words unsettle White Tiger, who angrily throws another heavy punch. The blow sends Bumtae into a flood of memories, of humiliation, of his suffering mother, and of Ji-young, who has always protected him. Bumtae's fighting spirit reignites. He roars, "I'm gonna kill you tonight." Before White Tiger can recover from shock, Bumtae swings both fists into his stomach. Panicking, White Tiger punches back and tries to beg him to stop. But Bumtae keeps repeating, "It really doesn't hurt," breaking White Tiger's spirit completely. Seizing the moment, Bumtae strikes with a sharp elbow, instantly turning the fight around. Then his fists pour down like a storm, returning all the humiliation and pain he's endured. Finally, he picks up a piece of wood, ready to crush White Tiger's arm. Terrified, White Tiger begs for mercy. Bumtae's hand freezes in midair. He takes off the mask and angrily accuses White Tiger of bullying the weak and causing them endless suffering. He yells at White Tiger, saying he can never understand the feeling of being beaten so badly that you just want to die. In the end, Bumtae coldly warns, "If you ever bully anyone again, I will kill you." From this moment on, Bumtae is no longer a coward, but the mighty Blue Dragon. But his kindness remains unchanged. Just like Ji-young says, violence alone can never earn true respect. It is Bumtae's kindness that wins him everyone's support and admiration. Under his lead, Agricultural High returns to its former peace.